Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about Pochoir today. Pochoir is a French word, and it's a technique that involves stenciling. And I wanted to give this to you as an option to kind of play around with. It's similar to screen printing in some ways because you're dealing with stencils, but you're using hand-cut stencils and you're applying it with a brush or a sponge like this. So different kinds of tools. This is a pretty nice brush. I got a 2-pack of these on Amazon for like 20 bucks. So a little bit expensive, but I found these to be generally gives you the best result. These are some little sponges that are in plastic holders. This is a Martha Stewart sponge. And these are okay, but the texture is a little bit problematic, and because they're they almost resist water-based media in some ways, so you tend to get it kind of puddling up on the surface, and then it can go underneath your stencil. So these are okay, but they can be a little bit difficult. And then I've got some just like makeup sponges that I got in kind of a grab bag at Big Lots for like $2. So these actually work pretty well because the texture is really fine. So okay, so I have just a piece of paper, and then I have 3 colors mixed up. These are acrylics, but you can also use watercolor. Watercolor tends to give you more subtle effects, and it can get a little bit muddy. This one I did a little bit ago, and the background green leaves here are done with watercolor, and then the purple and the brighter greens and blues and stuff down here are done with acrylics, the same ones that I'm going to be using. So I cut a variety of stencils, and just, you know, with an X-Acto, some scrap paper, and I'm just going to do a quick composition here just so you can see how this works. I'm just going to kind of hold this down, and I'll show you with a couple of these different tools here. So I mixed this is acrylics, and it's a little bit runny just because I don't want it to dry too fast. What I tend to do is, you know, on the edge here, I'll just kind of tap that out a little bit to get rid of any excess. But I am getting a pretty significant texture here with the sponge. With this technique, you have to be careful that your ink or your paint isn't too runny, because if it is, it will go under your stencil and will give you results that you may not want. I'm just going to carefully lift that up. Not bad. I'm going to use the brush so you can see how that works. And I have a lot on here, so I am going to just dab a little bit of that off so I don't end up with too much. In terms of the tools, I think the brush is a little more versatile, just because I'm going to mix this with a little blue here. Because you can dab it, or you can use it as a brush and get some textural strokes, which can be pretty cool. I'm going to do that. I'm just going to give this a second to dry, but I do want to show you also you can tear stencils as well, and that can give you a different kind of look. Dry faster. Let's see. You can do overlapping. Sticker. Super subtle. Now, if I am a little bit frustrated with some of these edges, I can go back in with just Prismacolors and touch this up. Since this is just acrylic. And, you know, even just drawing on top of this is totally doable. Actually, this technique is really good in terms of just building up a background that you could then draw into